I realize now that you have to become the right person instead of spending all your time searching for the right person. And this took a lot of thinking because I know for me, I know for a lot of people, you kind of spend a lot of time wanting not to be alone, having that fear of being alone, having that almost uncomfortability with being by yourself, being comfortable with yourself, and searching for someone that can fill that void, distract yourself from kind of being alone, and have that person to where you can talk to, you can be in a relationship with, find someone like that. But you can't find someone like that without first finding yourself, becoming the right person. You can't ask for this special person to come into your life, work nothing for it, and just let it come in your life the easy way. Let it just fall into your hands, or stop like stop going after this rush. Like keep where you keep wanting to find the next person who can fill that void. Keep going and keep going. And instead focus on building yourself up first so that when that person does come around, you're in the right spot of your life to where you can help them just as much as they help you. And that's what I wanted to talk about today is because for me, especially, I think I find myself having that fear of being alone and wanting to find someone that I can be with without having to improve myself or without having to work for it. Just let it, just searching for the next distraction, the next person to fill the void of, I guess, being alone. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think a lot of people can. I've even witnessed it too. I think you can see how people are also often very eager to just jump back into relationships or find someone new so that they don't have that fear of being alone. So they aren't being alone. And most of the time, 99% of the time, it always ends badly. It never ends well for both people in the equation because when you find someone and you're only wanting to be with them for what they can do for you, then that's a bad dynamic to have in a loving relationship. And on the opposite side, when you find someone where you know you can be there for them, you can help them, you can love them just as much as they do the same for you, that's 100 times out of 100 times going to be the better relationship than both people just trying to fill a void or distract themselves from life or being alone in general. And so that's what I've been thinking about lately is there's no point in trying to just fill the gap for small periods of time within your life when instead you could be working on yourself. You could be pushing yourself to become better so that you can be the best version of yourself for the person that comes into your life. And there's something so much more amazing and beautiful about something like that compared to just finding someone who can fill time and space. Because if you think about it, that really just sounds, first of all, unloving. When you do that to someone, it's an unloving action. You're using or they're you're using this person for your own validation, for your own want, so that you don't get the negatives of what you're feeling. And you don't want to do something like that. You don't want to be the guy who is using others just to fill their own pain, fill the void of their own fears and stuff like that, because it can bring a lot of guilt. I know it has for me. I know a lot of people will try and hide the guilt, try and look past all the bad things that they've done, and just look at society and view it as something that's all right. Because I know a lot of times nowadays, People overlook this fact a lot. They just want to find the next person to fill the void, find the next person to kind of just be with, so that they don't have that fear of being alone, and they can be validated, they can have their attention. And when you mix all that together, it creates a lot of evil in the world, pretty much. Like, you can see countless examples everywhere. There's a lot of people just going out just to find someone to fill the void, fill space and time within their lives, because they don't feel comfortable being by themselves, and they don't have that eager to better themselves so that they can find the right person and ultimately be more fulfilled and happier in life. So I read a quote earlier today talking about how you can't expect to meet the right person without first becoming the right person. And that's like the perfect way to kind of summarize this whole topic, because when you stay untrue to that statement, to that well rounded summarization of like molding with this person, someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with, it's never going to happen because of what they do for you. You don't want to spend the rest of your life, or nobody wants to spend the rest of their life only doing things for the other. Like, you can't have the expectation of a wife who is going to not expect or want any love in return. Although it's very special to have someone who's very unselfish and wants to do the things for the betterment of the other. But there has to be a balance. And reality is, you you want to care for the other person, and that comes with becoming the right person. That comes with being someone who is loving, who is caring, who is kind to the other. And when you mold those two type of kind of personalities together, it's going to create something way more long lasting and loving than almost like a parasitic relationship where both of them are just getting what they want in return from the other. Because that's not love. That's not real bonding. That's, like I said, parasitic, and it's not fulfilling. It's not going to last. So just want to talk about that today and urge you guys to feel comfortable with yourself, feel comfortable being alone and working on yourself so that you can be the right person for when that person comes. Because at that point you're gonna feel much better about yourself, have more self-worth, self-love, and when that person does come, you can help them way more than you would have in the past, when you were more maybe self-centered or not as caring or not as hardworking or disciplined than before. And that's what you want in a partner. You want those traits in a partner. You want to have someone who's going to want to do things, care for you without expecting anything in return, just the way you would want to do that for them. And that's what's going to create long lasting relationships, aside from, instead of searching for just someone to fill that void, fill that time in your life, because it's pointless. It's meaningless when you do something like that. And so next time you find yourself kind of wanting that, like searching for someone, looking online, kind of just looking around for someone who you can use in a way and fill your time with and distract yourself with, stop and think about how you is this really what you want? Is this really what's going to bring you meaning and fulfillment? And in turn, you could spend the time bettering yourself instead of spending that time using somebody else. And it's going to pay off in the future when you do find that person. And that's when you're gonna feel the most fulfilled, the most happy, when you find that person and you're ready for it. You're the person that they want to be with, and it's gonna create that long lasting relationship that all of us really want, all of us really yearn for, and it's gonna make us more fulfilled and happier. So that's what I want to talk about today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.